good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Tommy John keeps you cool all summer long. From underwear to polos, their breathable fabric stops sweat before it happens. When you wear Tommy John, you're comfortable and confident so you can do everything better. Tommy John's premium innovations ensure the perfect fit with zero distractions, like their lightweight breathable fabrics that keep you 2 to 3 times cooler and dry 4 to 5 times faster than regular cotton. With over 30 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, guys everywhere elevate their game with Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics, like this fan who raves. I don't know what kind of magic voodoo science they put into the design, but somehow it breathes even on the hottest, sweatiest days. Invest in your comfort worry-free thanks to Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or it's free guarantee. Get 25% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 25% for a limited time at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
On SportsCenter all night. New faces in new places. Night 1 of the NBA Draft.
To look at me smiling hard right now because I know the hard work, the sacrifices, the blood, the sweat, the tears, not just from me, but my family put into this. So to look at me and just smiling at me right now. So I'm just blessed to be here.
Cooper plants his flag in Dallas.
You knew that, oh my Lord, what are you going to do about this? What luck are you going to hit? And you get him with the number 1 overall pick. Suddenly, your franchise seems not just on stable ground, but destined for ascension.
Can New York baseball find a way to right the ship?
Swing and a drive. Deep right center field. Harris back. This one is gone. Juan Soto gives the Mets the lead right back after Atlanta had just tied it in the top of the 4th.
What about the Rockies?
Belts one deep to left center field to the deepest part of the yard. It's going to get down and roll to the wall.
Paul Skeens' day doesn't go as planned.
1-2 pitch. Here's a line drive into left. It's a base hit. Haas trots home. It's 4-0 Milwaukee. Make it a 9-game hitting streak for Yelich. And the Brewers all over Paul Skeens here in this second inning.
Plus, what can we see in day 2 of the NBA Draft?
Why are we showing these pictures? What are they trying to say?
I was reading a Scott Van Pelt promo.
It's not always about you.
You got hair, man. I'm holding on. George Jefferson style. I'm holding on what I got.
From the worldwide headquarters of ESPN, this is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
Some tears and dreams coming true. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. We had a big league pitcher dreaming of a possible no-hitter. But New York City was the place where dreams became reality on Wednesday. We saw someone drafted into the NBA who began playing basketball in 2019. We had the Phoenix Suns continuing to make moves. And we had the expected number 1 go number 1.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
Commissioner Adam Silver making it official, something we've been expecting since the Mavs won the draft lottery back in May. Mavs this week re-upping Kyrie Irving and now drafting just the 4th rookie to ever win the Wooden Award. ESPN analyst Seth Greenberg says the bar's going to be relatively low in Dallas.
Cooper Flagg had more pressure on him last year as a 17-year-old freshman as the face of Duke basketball that he's going to have on him as the overall number 1 pick, the Dallas Mavericks. When you go to Duke and you are Cooper Flagg, number 1 high school player, reclassified and become the face of the brotherhood, Duke basketball, with the expectation to go to a Final Four, that type of pressure. He's going to a Dallas Mavericks team that he has a support system around him. Right? His versatility will be utilized, but he's going to be playing with Klay Thompson, one of the best shooters in the history of the game. Anthony Davis, who you just put on that list, which is a very, very special player. Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Kyrie Irving eventually. Derek Lively, they just signed Gafford, P.J. Washington. So basically, Cooper Flagg is going to be able to utilize his unique skill set. He's the most versatile player to me in college basketball in the last 20 years. He can impact the game every single time down the floor without even trying.
The pressure on him is an interesting point because he was not traded for Luka Doncic. Do you know what I mean? Like, the way it all plays out, it's almost like the Mavericks traded away Luka Doncic for Cooper Flagg. But that actually, those two things had nothing whatsoever to do with each other, except that maybe they wouldn't have been where they were if they had kept Luka. Does the fan base feel like Cooper Flagg is what we got by trading away Luka and now have that level of expectation?
They don't. And if they do, that's a flawed thinking.
Right.
And so the pressure, I think, is on Nico Harrison to deliver a team that is competitive very soon, because Nico Harrison made the statement when he made the trade, we are trying to win a championship in the next couple of years. It is virtually unheard of that a team with the number one pick has any sort of short-term championship aspirations. Typically, this is the beginning of a rebuild when you acquire a player like this. So I would agree that he doesn't have the expectations to come in and dominate the way he did at Duke with gigantic NIL and all of those things. But his team is going to be playing meaningful games much faster, probably, than most number one picks in history.
The guy is so versatile, but he never chases it. He takes everything the game gives him. He takes over games without having to take over games. He takes over games sometimes by being a play starter, sometimes by being a playmaker, sometimes by being scoring, sometimes by getting post-ups or getting a defensive rebound and initiating a fast break. That's who he is.
Cooper Flagg, no suspense at the number one pick. Then at number 2, Spurs take Dylan Harper. And then,
with the third pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select VJ Edgecombe from Bimini, Bahamas, and Baylor University. With the fourth pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Khan Knipple from Duke University. With the fifth pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Arius Ace Bailey from Rutgers University.
Ace Bailey garnered quite a bit of attention for what he didn't do leading up to the draft, namely work out for any team.
Ace, you're stoic. On a night with questions and questions about your pre-draft process, how can you be so cool and confident in this moment?
I mean, I have a great circle that maintains the outside world while I just focus on the basketball part. So I just thank them every day.
You've gotten props from KD, Giannis, learned some moves from Giannis. Are you ready to go to Utah and maybe use those moves on Giannis?
Oh, for sure. I got some more stuff for him, too. Yeah, for sure.
Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Ace Bailey with Armonica McNutt. One thread through the early part of round one. Youth, the top 8 picks, freshmen. And 9 of the top 10. The guys who anchored our coverage here on ESPN Radio. Seth Greenberg, PJ Colosimo, and Alan Hahn.
So we were talking about winners and surprises. Malawak from Duke going to 10 is a surprise, a really talented big man. But for the Suns, that might be a great get. They had another big man in a trade with the Hornets for Mark Williams, so they're starting to do things in Phoenix. Any other thoughts about this first round?
Well, Duke, obviously, 3 guys in the top 10. I mean, come on, he dropped to 10. I mean, come on. That's still pretty special. Rutgers with 2 very high picks. International again, 12 international players in the first round. Their stat was 10 international players have been selected every year since 2000. We're not even into the second round yet, and 12 already. And every year, at least 2 have been in the top 10. They did it again, number 1 and number 8 international. So it continues to be the international game, and we continue to. The NBA just gets bigger and bigger and more worldwide every year.
Early in the draft, the number of 18 and 19-year-olds, the number of one-and-done guys that got drafted in the first 15 picks is absolutely mind-boggling. We talk about how young the league's. I thought the Pelicans had an absolutely
good day,
terrific draft. I think they got 3 guys that are going to be developed into winning NBA players as they move forward.
Speaking of the Pelicans, Derek Queen at number 13. The Hawks drafted him, but then he's dealt to the Pelicans.
Was New Orleans a team that was on your radar that you felt might be targeting you?
It definitely means a lot because, I mean, I don't have a choice of where I go, but New Orleans is definitely top of my list. Had a great meeting with them. Feel like I had a great workout. And then and New Orleans reminds me of where I'm from a lot. So to do something for New Orleans and make that my second home, I'm just excited to do that.
Can you explain to the people, everyone thinks that you're from D.C. You're not from D.C.
No.
Are you from the state of Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore is his own state.
Exactly. Think about, in this move, obviously you know Troy Weaver, you understand the dynamics of that, but what's your main focus as you're trying to transition your game to the NBA? You're so skilled, you got great hands, great footwork, but what's your main focus?
To check off all them question marks that they have about me and just to prove everybody point. I'm going to remember this day and just take advantage of it. Get ready to work with Summer League. Me and Fears talk a lot, and then we're just going to get ready for Summer League.
Derek Queen drafted on Wednesday. Second round coming up Thursday. Will teams find their diamond in the rough? We'll find out together tonight. Coverage 7:30 Eastern time on most ESPN radio stations and the ESPN app. Right now, SportsCenter all night.
Yours, I'm breaking it to you. Kevin Durant has been traded to the Rockets.
Wow. The West just got better. Alfred Sengun, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Amin Thompson. They're going to look like the Monstars.
It's been a busy week in Phoenix. Started with the KD trade over the weekend, and then another deal on draft night Wednesday. Suns trading the number 29 pick and a 2029 first-round selection to Charlotte for 7-footer Mark Williams. Phoenix also lining up another big man.
With the 10th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Houston Rockets select Kaman Malawach from Rumbek, South Sudan, the NBA Academy Africa in Senegal, and Duke University.
Rockets selecting the 7'2" center, but he's being sent to the Suns along with Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and 5 second-rounders as part of the Durant deal.
Kaman Malawach joins us right now. We need to get you a new hat.
Oh, yeah.
Because that one says Rockets.
That's okay. You can wear that for now. You can wear that for now. You got about a week or two to wear that. You'll wear a different uniform in Summer League, though.
But congratulations. We've seen a lot of emotion on nights like this. You were very emotional. Yeah. What was going through your mind? Now, we were surprised you went as late as you did. I'm sure some of that was in the emotions, but what were you thinking when you heard your name finally at number 10?
I was just thinking about all my friends, my family, all the people that supported me and the people who pushed me to be here today. I'm thinking about my NBA Academy brothers. Thank you.
Oh, we're making the hat switch right now, everybody. This is great radio. Rockets hat off, Suns hat on.
Malawach was born in South Sudan, didn't start playing basketball until 2019 in Uganda. Overcome by emotions after Commissioner Adam Silver called his name. As for the Suns' night overall, ESPN insider Shams Charania.
When the Suns were on the clock at when the pick number 8 and 9 were on the clock, the Suns didn't believe Kaman Malawach was going to be available for them. But when he was, they obviously decided that was the big that they were going to get. So they had been talking to Charlotte about Mark Williams as well. So for the Suns, a lot of this was the front court was a massive issue for this team last season. They went through a revolving door at center. Yusuf Nurkic, Nick Richards, Mason Plumlee. Now they have 2 centers within minutes of each other, 2 high upside centers that they acquire within minutes tonight. In Mark Williams with the Hornets in this trade, and then Kaman Malawach in the draft at number 10. They never expected him to be available. And those 2 first-round picks, one number 29, and then a future first-round pick they expect to be in the late 20s. Essentially, they're trading away late 20s for a guy in Mark Williams who, like you said, was traded to the Lakers, rescinded, has high upside.
Second-round coverage coming up on Thursday. You'll hear it here on ESPN Radio. Right now, SportsCenter all night to baseball, and not the best of conditions to be playing in for the Rockies and Dodgers in Denver.
Here's a pitch to Muncy, and he pops it up. That's on the right side. Second baseman Estrada's calling for it, having trouble with the lights, and it falls right between he and Tolia. And 2 runs score.
Lights, Mother Nature, 8:50 KOA weather delay in the middle of this one in Denver, and when they did get back on the field.
0-2 pitch from Kinley. And Muncy swings, hits a drive, deep right field, way back, it is gone! Max Muncy with a grand slam, his second one this week. And the Dodgers have opened it up, it is 7-1. Oh, Maxwell swinging the silver hammer in the Mile High City.
Hashtag Beatles reference. AM 570 LA Sports. Dodgers an 8-1 win over the Rockies. LA becomes the first National League team to reach 50 wins this season. Second team to do it. Detroit also reaching 50 this week. Dodgers also reached 50 wins in 81 games last season en route to the World Series. Rockies, meanwhile, fall to 18-62. Worst record by any team through 80 decisions since the Washington Senators in 1904. Marlins and Giants went extra innings.
0-2. That one flicked over the jumping glove of the second baseman Koss into center for a base hit. The Marlins get their run across. It's an RBI single for Otto Lopez. He didn't try and do too much. Just like last night, he guides a single into shallow center, and it's 5-4 Miami in the top of the 10th. And Hernandez tomahawks one into left center field. That gets in for a base hit, and that's a roll into the alleyway. Winkler in to score from second. Here comes Lopez from first. Throw going home, on target but late. A 2-run knock and a 4 RBI day. It's a 2-run double and a 3-spot in the 10th.
940 WINZ. Marlins with an 8-5 win over the Giants in 10 innings. Marlins improving to 5-3 in extra inning games this season. They've won their last 3, their second 3-game win streak so far in June. Giants, second straight loss after going 3-1 in their last 4. They fall to 5-4 in extra inning games this season. Pirates sent Paul Skeens to the mound on Wednesday. Didn't go all that well.
1-2 pitch is a line drive into left. It's a base hit. Haas trots home. It's 4-0 Milwaukee. Make it a 9-game hitting streak for Yelich. He drives in his 57th of the year. And the Brewers all over Paul Skeens here in this second inning.
620 WTMJ. Skeens, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 4 strikeouts. All 4 runs he allowed were in the second inning. Brewers go on to a 4-2 win over the Pirates. Victory lap in his final season? That's next. SportsCenter All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, it's an AL Central NL Central showdown. The St. Louis Cardinals at the Cleveland Guardians.
Saturday is game day, yeah.
Coverage begins Saturday at 3:30 Eastern with first pitch at 4:10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance. More SportsCenter All Night coming up next.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty here. Light up the night with Glow Motion, the all-new flavor from 5 Hour Energy. It's a fruity burst in a bottle that glows under UV light. Glow Motion has as much caffeine as a premium cup of coffee and 0 sugar. Just what you need to stay up celebrating your team winning a championship. And at only 2 ounces, it's perfect for runners, ravers, and anyone who refuses to stop. So whether you're dancing, gaming, or just flexing your vibe, Glow Motion shines. Literally, 5 Hour Energy Glow Motion is available online. Head to 5hourenergy.com and order yours today.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Harry Douglas here. We all know breakfast is an important part of your day, but when you're traveling for work and your hotel doesn't offer any, you're forced to make do with peanuts and an energy bar as you sprint off to your shift. But if you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you can enjoy their free Bright Side breakfast, featuring delicious baked goods, fruit, eggs, yogurt, and waffles. We refuse to let you go to work hungry, and I mean refuse, and aim to send you off fueled up. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at LQ.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticket partner of ESPN.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please. Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming.
You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center all night is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com.
Pretty sure this is it. This was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had. I played 20 freaking years.
Kind of felt like this was going to be the last year for Aaron Rodgers. There is a part that does feel Derek Jeter farewell tour.
Aaron Rodgers' time in Pittsburgh could be short, admitting to Pat McAfee this week that it's likely one and done in Pittsburgh. Earlier on Get Up,
you want to go out on your own terms. Like in football and in life, you're once a man, twice a baby, right? So you come in and you're trying to figure things out when you're young, and then at the end, your body doesn't respond the way it used to. But now this gives me an opportunity to say, hey, I love you, game. Let's it's over. Because when you finish in football, ain't no big three out there for us. So the game that we love, we're done with it. And it is a tough transition. So I wish I would have had the opportunity to walk away on my own terms. Only the very few great players, even Peyton Manning didn't walk away on his terms. He wanted to keep playing, and Denver was like, no, thank you. So for the fact that I get to say, hey, this is my last game, I get to play with joy and with no pressure because I'm comfortable with what I've done in this game.
And that also tells me where he's at. There was none of that over the last couple of seasons. Love, fun, and peace. Right. You get to those moments. You've been there, and you get to go out how you came in, which is just playing football. You don't got to be the head coach. Right. You don't have to be the GM. You don't have to be the mentor. You just come in and play quarterback, and that will be enough.
Here's what I will say to everyone saying, oh, the Steelers aren't a championship team. They're probably not. But the NFL is the place where crazy things happen every single year.
They have a professional quarterback that can get them in the right play and do high percentage plays when it calls for it, that can match football acumen with Lamar Jackson, whatever defensive coordinator is on the opposing sideline. That's all they need. They didn't be great for one or two runs.
I think he gets 2 wins out of his supporting cast more than they had last year, and I think he's responsible for the other 3. And then that puts them in the Super Bowl because with him, operationally, with Justin Fields, like when you come into the huddle and he's young and he's trying to figure things out, other guys are having trouble doing their job because he's trying to figure it out. You get a veteran quarterback when Russell Wilson comes in, you eliminate that. So now you have Aaron Rodgers, who gives you the operational, gives the rest of the team hope that this is a guy that can make the play, and his ability, now you have an opportunity when you get in the playoffs.
He's not going to turn over the ball. He's not going to turn over the ball.
I'm with you on, I think the Steelers will be good. I think they'll make the playoffs. But we have now put them in the Super Bowl.
No, that's all it took. I'm not.
That's all it took. That's all.
An hour and a half. What I'm saying is I believe Aaron Rodgers believes that. And every player goes in there thinking that they can win.
Say it with the vest.
Aaron Rodgers believes that he has enough to get to the Super Bowl.
Bring that shirt over there fighting, boy. I'm over there chest day.
The back of it ripped because I've been doing it. I've been doing the gels. Me and Greeny, we've been working on the upper backs.
Aaron Rodgers opting to come back and get that one last lap. Kobe Bryant did it. Mariano Rivera got a chair made from broken bats in his last season. Derek Jeter felt the love around baseball in his final season. Now Aaron Rodgers. But earlier on Unsportsmanlike, our Evan Cohen says, whoa.
We can never compare this man to Derek Jeter, which has happened now multiple times by multiple people on this show and on our network over the last 24 hours. If Aaron Rodgers is going to get a retirement tour, let him have it. I don't know who's going to celebrate him. Aaron Rodgers was better at football than Derek Jeter was at baseball. There is zero doubt about that. But to compare him to arguably the most classy, professional athlete, the best teammate, arguably, that has ever existed in his sport in baseball is utterly ridiculous. Derek Jeter, again, was not as good of a baseball player as Aaron Rodgers was a football player. But the who of Derek Jeter, how it was portrayed amongst the sport, amongst the fans, amongst the media, was impeccable. And that is why that man had the send-off that he had. This is not, for Aaron Rodgers and his final year in Pittsburgh, a Derek Jeter-like send-off. It is not. Do we want to send him off? Do we want to celebrate him? Be my guest. Stop comparing Aaron Rodgers' send-off and finale to Derek Jeter. Red Sox fans celebrated Derek Jeter. I don't even know that the Packers fans would celebrate Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers gets one more season, and he's doing it with the Steelers, who aren't the Steelers that were your father's Steelers.
Every time I hear about how this is one of the great franchises, Tomlin's one of the great coaches, this is one of the great cornerstones, all right, you can keep shoveling that out there. They haven't won a playoff game since January of 2017. There's like 8 teams that say that right now. You don't want to be in that category.
Joe Fortenbaugh earlier here on ESPN Radio. Right now, Sports Center all night. Jacob deGrom looking like his old self on Wednesday. Flirted with a perfect game through 6 innings and a no-hitter through 7. Had Tommy John surgery in June of 2023. Left after a couple dozen batters, threw 59 of his 89 pitches for strikes. Manager Bruce Bochy says he was throwing well, planned to give him a chance to finish the no-hit bid, but he came up short. As for the Texas offense,
the 0-2 pitch hit high into the air, pretty deep right field. Carlson going back on this. He turns to look, and it's out of here. Line drive home run to right for Josh Young. It sails over all the bullpen, the tarp people out there in right over the 373 marker for Young. His 8th home run this year. He's driven in all 3, and the Rangers are up 3-0.
His first homers since May 16th. 105.3 The Fan. Rangers a 7-0 shutout of the Orioles, who were shut out for the 8th time this season. Braves feeling the 1-2 punch from the Mets.
Here's the first pitch. Swing and a drive. Deep right center field. Harris back. This one is gone. Juan Soto gives the Mets the lead right back after Atlanta had just tied it in the top of the 4th. He's given the Mets a 2-1 lead. Cox deals. Swinging a high fly ball right center field. Harris on the run. He's at the track, at the wall, leaps, and it is gone. 2-homer night for Soto. A carbon copy shot. 7-1 Mets in the bottom of the 7th.
It would be a 7-3 win over Atlanta. 880 ESPN New York. Mets' first win over the Braves this season. They're now 1-5. What are the expectations coming up in Dallas? That's next. Sports Center all night at ESPN Radio.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here, and coming up on Thursday, we'll recap the first round of the NBA draft and explain why there were less early entrants declaring for the draft. That's Clinton and Friends on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text all in one shared workspace. And our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Tommy John keeps you cool all summer long. From underwear to polos, their breathable fabric stops sweat before it happens. When you wear Tommy John, you're comfortable and confident, so you can do everything better. Tommy John's premium innovations ensure the perfect fit with zero distractions, like their lightweight breathable fabrics that keep you 2 to 3 times cooler and dry 4 to 5 times faster than regular cotton. With over 30 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, guys everywhere elevate their game with Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics, like this fan who raves. I don't know what kind of magic voodoo science they put into the design, but somehow it breathes even on the hottest, sweatiest days. Invest in your comfort worry-free thanks to Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or its free guarantee. Get 25% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 25% for a limited time at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting Vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by argenx.
You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center all night, heading to Unsportsmanlike at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Evan, Canty, Michelle, 6 to 10 Eastern. Weekday mornings here on ESPN Radio.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center all night.
3-time WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson reaches 5,000 points for her career. Rangers shut out the Orioles, one of 7 shutouts in Major League Baseball on Wednesday. No surprise at the top of the NBA draft.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
I feel like I have a chance that not a lot of guys in my position have had. And then just to be around those type of guys every single day, you know, in the gym, just to be able to learn. You know, I want to be a sponge. I want to learn as much as I can. So I'm really excited for that.
You get him with the #1 overall pick. Suddenly, your franchise seems not just on stable ground, but destined for ascension.
Round 1 is in the books. Some surprises on Wednesday, but no real surprises at the top of the draft. ESPN analyst Jay Billis.
We're going to look back on this as the Cooper Flagg draft because he was the #1 overall pick, highly anticipated, going to Dallas, a contending team, especially now that they have him. But there were so many good players. I mean, you know, we're probably going to get to the winners and losers portion, but I thought San Antonio and Utah did really well in this draft in the first round. Obviously, the second round tomorrow, and there's still some really good players available. But I was impressed with what the Spurs did, getting Dylan Harper and then Carter Bryant from Arizona, a 3-and-D guy with the 14th pick. They had 2 and 14, and I thought got really great value out of those 2 slots.
I think Malawach is a difference maker. His feet are so incredibly active, and you saw him grow all year long. What can he be in the league in your estimation?
Well, he's such a good rim protector. You know, he's a shot blocker. He's an excellent offensive rebounder. He operated really well out of the dunker spot. He was good in pick and rolls. He can move his feet. You know, he's going to be a roll guy. He's not yet to the point where he can knock down reliably a perimeter shot, so he's not going to be a pick and pop big guy. But he does shoot the ball better than his numbers suggest, and he shoots it well in practice situations. So I think he's got some room for growth there. He's not the athlete moving his feet that Derek Lively II was when he came out of Duke and made such a big impact with the Dallas Mavericks. But Kaman Malawach has a lot going for him. You know, the offensive rebound piece, the rim protector, and being able to operate in a pick and roll. I think, and being the lob threat that he is. He had like 81 dunks, I think 31 of them or maybe 34 were lob dunks, and a number of those came from Cooper Flagg. So he's got a lot of room for growth. I remember when I saw him play, and I think I saw him play his first practice in 5-on-5 at Duke when he came back from the Olympics. And Coach K happened to be sitting next to me. And when John Shire came over and asked, what do you think? Coach K said, I'm worried about Kaman's hands. And I was thinking, God, he caught everything. I didn't have a worry. And he was saying, no, on the rim. Like, with him dunking and then blocking shots, like he goes after shots so much, he's going to hurt his hands on the rim. That's something he never said about me, which I found a little bit odd. No. But I agree with you. And how about how emotional not only he was, but how emotional. This was the most crying I've ever seen at the draft.
Yeah.
It was really moving, I thought.
Emotional night for many of those drafted. Youth at the top of the draft. Top 8 picks all being freshmen, 9 of the top 10. At the top, Cooper Flagg, as noted. And that comes on the heels of the new agreement Kyrie Irving is getting in Dallas. Mavs reloading to the guys at PTI.
Well, Bob, what do you see in Dallas's future?
I see them being a serious contender year after next. Because I don't know how soon Kyrie can get back. I know there are all these optimistic, discussions about and predictions and forecasts about him coming back in January. I don't know that I'm buying that. And Kyrie knows his own body, and he knows he doesn't want to rush back at this stage of his career. But when Kyrie Irving gets back in there, and he is for Dallas what he was for Dallas for, a year and a half, getting to the finals, and of course then the next year it looked like he was being great again. And you got Flagg, and you got Gafford. Oh, you got a guy named Klay Thompson. And you got, P.J. Washington. Now you got, a Hall of Famer named Anthony Davis. They got a roster, Tony, and they got a coach. The big thing for me is whether Jason Kidd is going to be there. I still wonder if Jason Kidd is going to be the coach of the Knicks. But that's another whole story. But they got the assets, the human resources to be really, really good. And if all those guys are healthy in the lineup, and if Flagg is the third best player on that team, they can look at Oklahoma City and say, let's go drop the gloves now.
We probably could not disagree more on this one. What do I see in Dallas's future? I see them firing the GM, Nico Harrison, because of that insane trade, getting rid of Luka Doncic. What I don't see, and here's where we do agree, I don't see Jason Kidd coaching there. I agree with you. I think he's going to the Knicks. Yeah. One of his top assistants left the other day. Another top assistant that's being reported is publicly contemplating leaving. That seems to me, Mike, a precursor for Jason Kidd to leave. Kyrie Irving. So here's what Kyrie Irving did. He's out. We don't know when he's going to come back. Not at the beginning of the season. It's a very serious injury. You don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. And he's 33 years old at this point. I think he took the long money in this contract because maybe he knows something that we don't know. You mentioned Anthony Davis. What does his history tell you? His history tells you that he's not healthy. And can Cooper Flagg be great right away? Maybe. But he's 18 years old. He'll be 19 in December. He's going to go up against men. Mike, I think Dallas has a lot of names, and that's all they got is names. I'm not sure that their future is anything but uncertain at the moment.
A lot of questions in Dallas. Wilbon mentioned one of the question marks being the coaching position. Will Jason Kidd be there? ESPN NBA reporter Tim McMahon.
I certainly think that it was a situation that intrigued Jay Kidd, and I would say with confidence that he was number one on the Knicks list. The Knicks have had to look into other options and actually go the route of not trying to hire a head coach who's under contract with another franchise, which is what a novel concept, actually hiring coach, trying to hire a coach who's available. Right. Having said that, the Knicks have not hired a head coach yet. Jason Kidd is under contract with the Mavericks for, he signed an extension during the finals run last year. I believe there are a couple of years left on that contract. I would say until the Knicks hire a coach or Jason Kidd signs an extension, you have to put it in the category of never say never.
So still some questions in Dallas, even though they did take Cooper Flagg with the number one pick in the draft on Wednesday. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
With the 5th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Arius Ace Bailey from Rutgers University.
Ace Bailey winds up going in the draft on Wednesday as well. He goes number 5 to Utah, which may or may not have been a preferred landing spot for him. ESPN insider Shams Charania.
Going into the draft, what I got from people that I talked to around Ace Bailey was we're comfortable with the process that we had. We believe we'll land somewhere in that 3 to 8 range, and obviously that was correct. He landed at 5. And there were whispers over the last couple of days that number 5 Utah, even though that they had not brought in Ace Bailey hadn't worked out for anyone in person in the high lottery. Despite that, Utah had really been looking at him and his talent, wanted to bring him in, his scoring, his competitiveness. So you get Ace Bailey and then Walter Clayton Jr. later in the first round as well. So I think Utah's very happy with the draft that they had today. You have multiple other storylines, but Utah getting those 2 players, competitors, shooters, scorers, I think they're very excited about it.
Utah may be happy and excited, but what about Ace Bailey?
You have answered this question many times about your pre-draft process. Now that it is over, is there an exhale for you now that you know where you're going?
No, I always had an exhale. I mean, my main focus is just basketball. So I was focusing on basketball every day, so I was preparing myself for this journey. So I had a great team that was worried about the outside noise while I was focusing on the basketball part.
You talk about that great team. Let's talk about Coop. Let's talk about Eitan. These guys came and got you out of the hood in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
For sure.
They have been family. This is not an agent. This is not representation. This is your family right here.
Yes, sir.
As you listen to your family come under fire by the national media for the last couple of weeks, does this validate the you guys' process?
For sure. I mean, we just put our head down. AB, you work on the basketball part. I trust y'all enough because y'all more than just an agent and y'all family. So I know they're not going to do me the wrong way. They're going to look for the best thing, my best thing and interest for me. So I trusted them, and now look where we at.
Going to Utah, do you think that this is the best situation for you?
For sure, yes, sir.
What do you know about the Jazz? Have you even had any conversations with the Jazz? Maybe even at the Combine. Did you interview with them?
Yeah, I interviewed with them. Yeah, they got a great city. I mean, great city, great mountains. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff out there. I mean, the team, the coaches, they're going to push me to be the best so I can be.
Well, I know Ace watched the finals and watched all the talent that OKC has, but a lot of that talent is defensive talent. When I see your numbers from the Combine, I see the wingspan. I see you with averaging 2.3 steals and blocks during the year. Everybody talks about your scoring, but you can impact the game defensively when you get to the NBA. Sure. And you see how important that is watching these teams in the finals.
Yes, sir. It's very important. I mean, with me using my size, I can rebound, push the floor. So me just being a great defender, guarding the wings, putting pressure on the best guards, just my wingspan, me blocking shots on the perimeter from chase downs, from off sides, helping all that, it plays a big fit.
Ace, I want you to tell everyone something else. We talk about youth. Please tell the world how old you are.
18.
Yeah. That's the part I don't think people look at. He's still 18 years old. He's not even 19 yet. So as we talk about improvement, this is a young man that is going to continue to elevate his game on both ends of the floor. Very happy for you,
Appreciate
my guy.
That, all right?
Ace Bailey with our ESPN radio crew during the NBA draft on Wednesday. Day 2 coverage coming up tonight, 7:30 Eastern time here on ESPN Radio. Right now, Sports Center all night.
Boston, Atlanta, Brooklyn finalizing a 3-team trade that sends Kristaps Porzingis and a draft pick to the Hawks.
And now you wonder, is Boston saying, okay, we'll roll with Jaylen Brown and everybody else until Jason Tatum gets healthy? Or is this a team going for a full rebuild?
Celtics making some significant moves this week, but it may not be a total blowing up of the roster. ESPN insider Shams Charania.
My sense this morning, on the morning of the NBA draft, unless a team blows the Celtics out of the water, they prefer to keep both Jaylen Brown and Derek White. But again, they are still a first apron team in the tax. They're still a luxury tax-paying team. Their phone lines are open. They're ringing. They're open to the conversations. At minimum, I think players like Sam Hauser, Anthony Simons, we could see potentially being discussed even more. But they've got a very high price threshold on Jaylen Brown and Derek White, from my understanding, from talking to people around the league. Like, if they are going to move either of them, it's going to be a massive haul that they'll get.
You know, no one expects the Celtics to be a bona fide contender for a title without Tatum. But next year, the season after, where Tatum is coming back and you keep the core of Tatum, Brown, and White, and then you got Pritchard and Hauser, and we'll see what they do with the rest of the guys, then you're right back in the mix. So I'd be really, first of all, devastated, but also pretty surprised if they moved off of Brown or White.
Drew Carter from NBC Sports in Boston. We have seen the first day of the NBA draft this year. And a year from now, ESPN insider Bobby Marks says the Celtics may be right up there as one of the top picks.
I would think they're done. I mean, if the goal is to try to get under the luxury tax now, I mean, if they really want to be greedy, they would have to move a couple more players to do that. It's almost like you're probably going to be looking at next year like, in a way, Philadelphia looked at part of the year when they got injured. The goal is probably to try to get a top lottery pick.
Our Stephen A. Smith says no.
You don't just sit up there and look at a Jason Tatum and say, well, he's out for the year. Therefore, we're going to get rid of Jaylen Brown, too. That's not what you do. You keep Jaylen Brown. You make sure and he establishes himself as a number one option. And guess what? If he does, what reason do you have to believe that you're not going to be competing for titles down the road? I understand you had your comeuppance against the New York Knicks. More props to them. I get that part. But over the course of their careers, as I'll repeat it, they've been to 5 conference finals, 2 NBA finals. They're a champion, and they just won the championship last year. So, to me, there's no reason to do that right now. Find out what he is and what he's made of.
So then all that under consideration, what could be next for the Celtics? ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
Now that they've made these deals, they are under the second apron. If that is their goal, congratulations. But they are still listening. And this is where the rest of the league is watching. They are listening on Jaylen Brown. They are listening on Derek White. I would be surprised at this point if they move them, but today is draft day. There are teams in the top 10 that would very much like to get their hands on one of these players. Is there an opportunity for the Celtics to move in and get a player in the draft that they think that they could reform their team around when Jason Tatum comes back? My answer is maybe. Otherwise, they wouldn't be listening. So I think Jaylen Brown is staying put. I think Derek White is staying put, but I can't rule out stuff that might happen by the end of today.
And by the end of the draft coming up on Thursday, round 2 coming up, our coverage 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Back to baseball. More home runs for the Angels.
Travis d'Arnaud is the batter, swings at the first pitch. He hits a ball well out into right center field. That ball is going to get out. It's a home run. Rafaela got way up, trying to rob him there in right center. Back-to-back homers. d'Arnaud hits his 4th. Ball game tied at 2.
Angels Radio AM 830. Angels have 118 homers this season, 3rd most in baseball behind the Dodgers and the Yankees. Yankees on Wednesday facing the Reds.
Jazz struck out swinging. 2-2 pitch first time, and he hits a high fly ball. Deep right field. This got a chance. That is going. Goodbye. Oh, baby, that's 20 rows up. Home run, Jazz Chisholm, a 2-run shot. And the Yankees have a 3-0 lead.
They'd go on to a 7-1 win over the Reds. WFAN with the call. Chisholm with his 11th homer of the year, traveled 433 feet, 2nd longest homer this season. Reds have their 3-game win streak come to an end. Straight ahead, a lot of zeros on Wednesday. Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Tonight, we usher in the next wave of NBA players.
To a new door. The 2025 NBA Draft.
Cooper Flag is on another level.
DJ Edgecombe, Ray Johnson.
Coverage continues tonight with round 2 at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Presented by ZipRecruiter.